to you by
youth, elderly, and persons with disabilities. It's time to choose our leaders. Let's show up and participate in the special interest group elections. Starting June through August this year. Your vote, your voice. My vote, my voice. This message is brought to you by the Uganda Electoral Commission.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for the 8 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight, this 6th day of July 2025. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark, and it's going to be an hours-long bulletin. So sit tight, let's give you the headlines and get straight into the bulletin.
brought to you by
Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
In our headlines tonight, President Museveni defends executive orders on Balalo. Premier Nabanja tips Kakumiro residents to avoid voting leaders based on tribal grounds. And State Minister for Youth Balam cautions politicians against violent campaigns. And the Deputy Governor, Bank of Uganda, Professor Nwagaba, says investment in coffee sector is to grow Uganda's economy.
Brought to you by
Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Thank you for joining us. We now give you the news in detail. President Yoweri Museveni has once again weighed in on the contentious issue of the Balalo cattle keepers in northern Uganda, northwestern and eastern Uganda. In a fresh statement, the president defended his executive orders and accused some Balalo of flouting both local norms and national laws. President Museveni outlined a list of violations, including grazing livestock on people's crops, known locally as Kwonesa, settling without fencing, and blocking community access routes. He also condemned the occupation of government ranches, warning that it undermines national cattle breeding projects and provokes unrest among local residents. The president questioned how some cattle were relocated without proper permits or safeguards, calling on officials to explain why fencing, water availability and disease control were overlooked. President Museveni also accused some herders of acting with impunity, allegedly backed by armed relatives in uniform, making it difficult for local justice systems to function. He pointed out successful examples of peaceful coexistence, like a Munyoro fruit farmer in Nwoya, to show that non-locals can thrive without conflict when they respect community norms. More in our news tonight, President Yoweri Museveni has underscored the need to develop Bugonza Shrine in Kaliro district as a religious tourism site. He says that government has been allocating money annually in the national budget to support Christians in commemorating the Martyrs' Day. Government will equally develop birth sites of Uganda martyrs, including Bugonza and Chebando in Mayuge, the birthplaces of Gonzaga, Gonza and Matia Mulumba respectively. President Museveni made these remarks today as the chief pilgrim at this year's St. Gonzaga Day national celebrations held at Bugonza Shrine, Kaliro district. The celebrations were organized by the Jinja Diocese. The day commemorations were for the life and martyrdom of Gonzaga Gonza, one of Uganda's revered martyrs who was killed for his faith.
Sekuru angesangare no kubona ku cyaro kino kubanga maze banga ngandi kugera ndo sites da busoga either tourism dosa ne myaka je na hotel ko era abiri none cyo kwida ko anoze kunsanu isaino kubanga mfini ne isubi. Your Excellency, nga bwe twayogera nga tuli ekyando nakusaba olinge mu site ya Bishop Huntington kubanga omudulize yasooka olinge mu site eno eya Bugonza olinge mu site ya Matya Mulumba aye nga mpulani yange mwalimu n'okwidabiriza olubiro lukaire lwa baba waife Zibondo so ebyo nabyo ine dokola side eno era ndikusuubira nti odda kutuusa ekiseera obirowoozeeku. Your Excellency, ebya enguudo tibyogere kuba nange babyogereku aye ndowooza oba olina omwizizo gw'abantu baba eno tekaali nsonga ya Bugonza tekaali ya Namugongo tiya Kaliro tiya Busoga efuuse Uganda yafuuse international abantu abo baba mara enaku 3 nga bali kola obudulizi.
So it's very good to preserve the memory of these people, and I'm glad you are all coming in the big numbers to Kulamaga. So therefore, developing this site here will be done.
N'olwekyo okuzimba ekitundu kino hano wa St. Gonzaga kyaba akolebwa. Mukube emizira n'engalo nanyere sente alagire.
I discussed with the priests when we met near the helicopter landing place.
Atumwire n'abakulu b'eddiini ababuulizi hadi enyonyi yehegwire.
Then I told them what shall be done.
Era n'abakobera ekyaba okolebwaku.
Here
hano
at Bugonza,
Bugonza,
and also at Matya Mulumba Chebando.
Atawa Matya Mulumba Echebando.
And also the one of Bishop Huntington.
Ate no wa Bishop Huntington hona.
Because these are all important.
Kubanga bano bona bakulu ino.
And capture the sentiment of our people.
Ate kitolerayo kimo abantu engeri eje balohozyamu ku iddiini lyabwe.
Now, regarding the other issues I discussed with the representative of the bishop,
ensonga egindi ajatumwire no representative wa bishop achikiriro bishop.
You heard we shall put as soon as possible the 950 million on the Matters Hospital in Jinja.
Mbagirawo alikwaleeta obukaire 95 okumaliriria idwaliro eri abajulizi ejinja.
And I'm glad these basosodoti know how to kukekereza.
O president musanyufu kubanga abasosolodoti bano bamaita okekerezya.
And in more news, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabanja, has urged residents of Kakumiro to desist from voting leaders based on tribal grounds because it breeds anarchy. The Prime Minister was campaigning, seeking to be re-elected as woman MP for Kakumiro district in the NRM primaries. The Prime Minister also started village-to-village campaigns at Nazareth in Kasambia sub-county in Kakumiro district. These are the details.
As the NRM primaries intensify, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabanja, spent a day searching support to be re-elected as woman MP for Kakumiro district. Today, the Kakumiro Woman Member of Parliament started the day with Nazareth village, where she was welcomed as the Messiah of Kakumiro. Her supporters laid clothes on the ground to walk through the crowd of people who are waiting to welcome her. Nabanja is competing with Grace Bataringaya and 3 others for the woman's seat in the NRM primaries. Addressing residents of Nazareth in Kasambia sub-county in Kakumiro district, Nabanja advised the people to desist from voting leaders based on tribal grounds because it breeds anarchy for the country.
ate baliyo ne balimba abantu mumpaka lulu manya nyewe mutabakombya kyabo kubata kozire abantu bakubayikaza mu byenganda yeka amagambire betulagendera mu nkoleni bakwenda tugalula mu ntalo za Lulemera ebyo tukyabyenda tukwenda masanyalaze ate ebyo akukwata binyansi mutwala amaizi mubagambe stand tuwale erigenda soma mubagambe stand fire wagira Museveni emikono waggulu wagira Nabanja emikono waggulu.
She urged them to vote her back in Parliament based on her contributions towards development of the district.
Barajja akajja n'abakazi abanyesimbira omubabuuze mubaine mukola district yabo Nazareti hano mwali mutatumanye nti tubeerayo mwali mwiziro Nabanja akozile kerezia Nabanja olugudo lwemukulaba muni yalukozile inyo mukakola ati mugaruke inyo mubagobe mutandike kubagoba abantu bato.
The women of Nazareth village donated gifts to the Prime Minister in appreciation of what she has done in the area.
Tinyina we nagenzire bakumpa ebirabo nayitalo omuli najire bakampa ebirabo kabe mumpairo obuyinzi. NRM oye Nazareti oye mwena oye nkulira nyina kusemere mu mutima.
At Ingeza village, the Prime Minister promised the people total transformation through modern agriculture using her model farm she has established in Kakumiro.
Chakozere chamani akozere model farm model chi ekindi kwenda kushaba lokugira ngu model farm tukushabe ekichare chimpaha kibe model Prime Minister's model village.
Kandi buli muntu tukuja musaba abyale mwali akebe mukuba olusigo makumi yangu okutandikirawo njalo okubolekya engeri mulabulastinga okwonya olusigo makumi ataano okumanya otukwekesa engeri yokugayita zino zebakweteza kati ekyalo kyoga kikufuna emwani kiwamu.
The Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Balambaru Gajara, is in Budadiri West Constituency, Sironko District, for a performance visit on the Youth Livelihood Program, Uganda Women Empowerment Program, Parish Development Model, and Emyoga programs. Balam encouraged focus on impactful delivery before heading for the Youth Baraza. Baru Gajara is accompanied by the State Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Nambozo Florence, and one of the NRM candidates for Budadiri West, Wanyenze Tabitha Dorothy.
State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs Balambaru Gajara received a warm welcome in Budandiri West, Sironko District.
I will say a few words. I want to welcome you, Honorable Minister. We've been waiting you for a very long time.
The minister, accompanied by State Minister Nambozo Florence and NRM candidate Wanyenze Tabitha Dorothy, visited the Budandiri West constituency to evaluate the performance of Youth Livelihood Program, the Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program, Parish Development Model, and Emyoga.
Also, in a special, I want to thank the leadership of Sironko for utilizing the Youth Livelihood Fund better than any other region I've visited.
He commended the district's strong reporting and visited several thriving YLP and UWEP groups.
Unlike other regions, the groups in Sironko who received the money exist. So I want to applaud and thank the team in Sironko, the Chief Administrative Officer and everyone for at least giving the money. The challenge has been collecting back that money. That's why the problem is, and it is a problem everywhere. They have money to give, but they don't have money to facilitate them to collect or to enforce collection.
Balam encouraged continued focus on impactful delivery before heading for the youth baraza.
Your district and you say you received 1 billion or 1.5 billion, 2023, 2024, 2024, 2025 to date, then you should be able to show me the groups that benefited. If you don't show me those groups, then I will confirm you ate the money. In Ibusia, money was swindled. There were no groups. In Ibusia, and the headquarters of corruption in Uganda is in Namutumba district.
The minister also cautioned politicians against violence, calling for peaceful campaigns and elections.
Allow that violence to happen during rallies, after rallies, before rallies. Let everyone mobilize his people. Let everyone come on the ground. Let's hear from each other. I want to be as neutral and clear as possible. So I saw the monitor claiming that the minister ordered the people who don't, the NRM supporters to beat people who don't support NRM. That is very wrong. It's a very, very bad statement, and I will take them to court.
Jane Ramchandra reporting for UBC.
And in more news, the NRM Secretary General has called on street vendors and hawkers in Kampala to form up joint unions and associations as the only way government can offer startup capital to elevate them. Todwong has made this appeal while meeting the women hawkers and vendors leaders in Kampala. Let's take a look.
The NRM Secretary General Todwong has met with a section of vendors in Kampala to strategize on how best he can support them. The meeting has been held at the NRM offices in Kampala, located along Chadondo Road.
Kati njagala owamawulire abakwate bulungi nnyo mubagambe tuli batembeeyi be baffe nkolera wandege ya ku luguudo.
And I've not invited you here for fun.
Bana sibatinde waneno bwerere.
Not that the party was not aware of what you're going through, but there were many other things that took our time. But I feel your pain.
Most of them are dealing in day-to-day hand hawking in Kampala.
President w'abaali ku bitundu 10 abakazi babeerako 7. 70% be bawagira President Museveni.
Singa mutufunyayo t-shirt z'omukulu n'ennyini nga tuzambako ku street nga batunda ebintu ne buli mutamu.
I need to thank you as heroes.
Bana njagala okubeebazanga.
Because there are lives that you feed every day.
This job, according to these women, has become a source of life and wealth.
They are working to just pay money lenders. And those are the testimonies you are hearing they were giving me. So we're trying to organize them, to put them into groups and associations to see how best government can help them through the many social programs that are under government. They can easily benefit from PTM funds, they can easily benefit from MEOGA funds, they can easily benefit, those who are young people, they are youth funds, and the GROW project under Ministry of Gender. So we want to organize them and see how we can channel them under the different government programs.
However, most of them are single mothers who had no option other than vending and hawking.
Osasula n'abaana bo nga tolidde n'osasula nyumba g'osomesa abaana.
Just like they have said that life is two-sided, this job has so many challenges and risks.
Naye mu bulumi obwo mukama w'amaanyi basoma balya naye mu bulumi kyekizibu kye tuyina ng'abakyala ba Uganda.
So that's why we are saying we need to help them.
With a startup capital of 20,000 shillings, there is need for NRM intervention.
Promise me one thing. That since you are running with a capital of 20,000, today I'm giving you 100,000.
These young women and mothers lamented over the harsh treatment by KCCA enforcement team.
Naye obuzibu kyenfunye nnyo okutembeya abo State Council nina capital yange ya mitwalo 2 ne State Council bakuguddeko era mitwalo 2 akitwala nga tozzeko wadde 10.
They are exposing them to the loan, to the money sharks, because some of these products they sell out of capital they get from money lenders. So when law enforcement officers come and grab their products, they have nothing to pay these loans with. And you find money lenders coming to collect their saucepans, their small items in their houses, and that generates that level of bitterness you would see.
On behalf of the President and the party, the NRM Secretary General is offering himself to bridge the gap in as far as lobbying for support to these citizens.
We have so far registered 2,000 of them.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Dr. Chris Kionga, one of the NRM aspirants for the Bukonzo County West Parliamentary seat in Kasese District, has called on residents to embrace Robusta coffee farming, saying that it is more profitable than Arabica coffee. Dr. Kionga, who has been traversing various parts of Bukonzo County West to sensitize communities on food security and coffee farming, says that Robusta coffee has shown higher yields and offers farmers better financial returns. These are the details.
The former NRM chairperson for Kasese District is also emphasizing cassava cultivation, which he says has played a key role in improving food security and fighting hunger in rural households.
Again, I'm very happy that on my advice, people revived the cassava production. When I came back from China, cassava had more or less disappeared, and instead trucks and trucks of lorries were coming from other parts of Uganda, bringing here cassava flour, which people were buying in the shops, even deep in the villages, using their meager incomes.
Kionga's campaign message this political season is focused on economic transformation, aiming to uplift households from poverty through sustainable agriculture and community interventions.
That we should do some reforms in our coffee production in this area. We are along the Rwenzoris, just like our brothers and sisters on Elgon. We have been producing Arabic coffee. In my view, I think we should abandon Arabic coffee for Robusta coffee. This is because, on all accounts, Robusta coffee is more rewarding. First, at the production level, in 1 acre of coffee, 1 acre of coffee takes 500 trees.
He joins a list of NRM hopefuls, including the State Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga, and Milton Wangalema, from whom the party will choose a flag bearer to face off with opposition candidates for the Bukonzo County West Parliamentary seat.
Coffee production is the main, most popular activity in this part of the country for quite a long time. When we came of age, and particularly after 1986, I put a lot of effort to encourage our people to increase and improve coffee production.
A fundraising event raised more than 66 million Uganda shillings for the St. Maria Goretti Nursery and Preparatory School Development Project in Rushoroza, Kabale Diocese. The funds contribute to the 900 million shillings needed to complete the construction of the school's administration and classroom blocks, a key facility aimed at enhancing the learning environment for local children. These are the details.
Deputy Managing Director of UBC TV and alumnus, Mr. Morris Mugisha, was chief guest and fundraiser who emphasized quality education.
It was a new school that didn't even have a UNEB number. We sat our primary living exams, P7 PLE exams, at the St. Mary Boys Primary School down. So it was always intimidating to go and join another set of students in another school to sit for your P7. And so that was also a key highlight. But finally, because we had a huge cathedral, and you can imagine a young 8-9-year-old walking into the Rushoroza Cathedral, that would be intimidating. And so the cathedral was always the highlight. Every Sunday when we went to pray there, you felt honored to be part of what is really a huge foundation here in Rushoroza. And enjoy one of the best church-founded schools here in Kabale that provides quality education, but wholesome education that laid a foundation for all of us.
Old boys and old girls generously supported the event, sharing fond memories and gratitude for the school's impact on their lives.
And I chose my daughter to feel what I felt here.
I was here from 1996 to 2000. I'm adding another 100,000.
The event drew hundreds of well-wishers, including parents and religious leaders.
So I welcome our OBs and OGs to continue to contribute to this cause until we see this block completed. But I also want to thank friends and well-wishers of the school and of course the church for having supported this initiative.
Kabale Diocese Bishop Right Reverend Kalistu Baramira praised the community's unity and generosity in supporting education.
Turabere tuenda milioni magana mwenda tukaisa milioni nkaganisha tukonkana bwe tutari kashi tumureba ngo twino urugendo ruhango twino mwanya mhango ko kugenda konka every journey begins with the first step, so we have at least to have a step, therefore we are going.
Among the many youth who have turned up for the elective positions in the NRM party, Mafari Edison is eyeing a post of the National Secretary Publicity in the NRM Youth League. Mafari, who subscribes to the Patriotic League of Uganda, says that by the fact that he has been politically mentored and nurtured by senior PLU leaders, it is time to carry such experience and zeal to the national leadership table of the NRM party. These are the details.
Race for National Publicity Secretary in the NRM party is mainly that for the youth. Ruhemba Ogwenjura, as commonly known to by many, is very thankful to the Patriotic League of Uganda for the opportunity he has been given to serve under different capacities.
Like we started, we were too many in MWK movement, but because of what I was doing, for example, General was picked interest in me. That is why I'm here at the PLU Secretariat.
Commonly known to many as Ruhemba Ogwenjura, is among the many supporters of the NRM party who have stepped forward to contest for the job of National Secretary for Publicity in the NRM Youth League in the forthcoming elections.
I've not been an active politician before, to be specific, but I believe that my entire life I've been a politician because I've been picking interest in what happens around me, what happens in the politics of the country, what happens in the politics of the world, and I believe that my way of doing things, I've told you, most people call me Ruhemba Ogwenjura. How it came to be that it was because of my creativity in how I handle things.
According to Mafabi, he is offering himself to serve the youth who seem not to be bothered on what is happening in the NRM party.
So I'm a youth who will make sure that, first of all, we gather all the other youths, convince them to come home, to join NRM, to build our party, to strengthen our party, so that when the time comes for changing, we change from within and we take up all these positions of NRM.
As a member of the Patriotic League of Uganda, Mafabi is carrying the idea and dream of ensuring that there is a smooth transition between the current age and the coming generation.
I encourage all youth to take up these positions because now, like, we've been in the NRM structures, and as PLU we've been encouraging our youth to take up positions from the grassroots level.
He, however, is very optimistic that if given the mantle of leading the youth in the NRM party, he will be a best leader they have ever seen.
It is the bigger interest first. I'm not going in for money because I know there is no salary, but I'm going in to serve the party.
He is much aware that he is not alone in this race.
The best is, I think that the youth should weigh the candidates and make sure that they vote for someone who will make them, who will make first of all the party, because we are putting the party before everything. To make sure that this is someone who will make the party popular, who will work for the party without any other interests.
However, his ideas and his manifesto are his biggest strength.
I know people's lives because I was a personal banker. I've been seeing people's businesses. I've entered the lowest homesteads. I know I've evaluated their financials. So I know how our local people are. And with that experience, that is what I bring on table to serve, to make sure that that lowest person is brought up.
Ruhemba Ogwenjura is very much convinced that this is time to stand and defend his age and generation. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Innovators and entrepreneurs have been challenged to certify their products in order to open up wider market opportunities. The State Minister for Trade, General Wilson Basumbadi, says that the existence of regional and continental markets makes it easy if products are internationally certified. This he sounded during the celebrations to mark the 103rd International Day of Cooperatives held at Boma Grounds in Fort Portal, where he also commissioned Busaiga Sacco.
This is the home of Busaiga Savings and Credit Cooperative Society in Kabarole District. United Free. Membership has grown to over 1,000 since 1998, something that has seen set objectives achieved.
We are serving more than 5,000 members in the group module, but all those groups are registered individually in the circle. And in the individual members, we have over 9,000 members as of today.
It is an initiative whose economic and welfare achievements are worth sharing.
And this is an example of how people can begin small and then grow big. This is your own initiative. You have added value to your resources. I thank you for being transparent and trustworthy.
That's why you see government is introducing programs like Myoga, programs like the PDM, so that you, through cooperative groups, you produce, add value, and that ensures sustainable production and therefore quantity.
This is what General Mbadi emphasized before he joined the rest of the cooperators at Fort Portal Boma Grounds for national celebrations. Shortly after touring the stalls, he encouraged entrepreneurs to certify their products.
Because the Uganda National Bureau of Standards belongs to the International Standards Organization, ISO, if you have heard about it. And therefore, what they certify here will have no questions when it goes to Japan or European Union or our regional markets here.
Mbadi, who represented the president as the chief guest, emphasized unity in investment and trade as the way to go for Uganda.
Under the leadership of the NRM government, the cooperative movement in Uganda has been supported to grow and make a contribution to the country's socio-economic transformation.
The 103rd International Day of Cooperatives was held under the theme, Driving Inclusive and Sustainable Solutions for a Better World. Henry Okrut, UBC.
And latest news reaching in, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni will kick off a 5-day wealth creation visit to Wakiso district in a tour aimed at checking on the key government projects as well as popularizing the parish development model program in the area. This 5-day visit, commencing on Monday, 7th July 2025, will end on Sunday with a March public rally to be convened at Mandela National Stadium, Nambole, on Sunday, the 13th July 2025 in Chira Division.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is returning in Wakiso as part of his countrywide tours where he is checking on successful parish development model beneficiaries. And this trip will start officially tomorrow, Monday, the 7th of the month of July 2025.
We are here at the National Organizing Committee for the Presidential Zonal Tour to brief the leaders of Wakiso of the tour of His Excellency the President on wealth creation that is commencing tomorrow, Monday. His Excellency the President will be touring Wakiso district for 5 days, commencing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and he will return on Sunday.
As part of this exercise, the President will check on successful parish development model beneficiaries as well as the model farmers in different areas of Wakiso district.
In all the 5 days, the major activities are wealth creation related. He will be visiting farmers. He will be visiting a number of enterprises that are within Wakiso as a district on wealth creation.
As we are very much aware that Wakiso is entirely a large region, the President will spend more than 4 days in this region trying to convene different meetings and holding engagements with different leaders at different levels.
The President is going to be with you for 5 days. You should not leave any stone unturned, isn't it? Temuleka kintu kyonna kyemulowooza nti kituza mabega ng'eggwanga, leave alone NRM, ng'eggwanga ne mukireka nga tetukikuteeko.
For municipalities like Nansana, Entebbe and Kira division, they also have chance to host the President as part of the tour which starts on Monday.
Said, why I need others to help me manage the program. The moment you leave it entirely to people around there, oh no, I have so and so to be introduced. Oh, Chairman SC1, no, Chairman NRM is it. No, the whole program may end up because you are looking at people you know.
Wakiso is a complex district with over 3.4 million people. And all types of people live in Wakiso. We have the urban poor. And as I talk now, we've received a lot of money from government.
The final lap of the President during this visit in Wakiso sub-region will end by convening a general public rally which is going to be at Mandela National Stadium.
It is unique in a sense that he's spending 2 days in Chira. He's starting with the Kasokos on Thursday, and on Sunday he will come to Nambole in a very big, huge, massive rally. So I'm calling everybody to come. That is the uniqueness.
Parish development model is the new baby on the block where the President and the NRM government is very much sure that indeed, if well implemented, Ugandans will have to move away from poverty to at least where they can still earn something, not only for their incomes as homesteads, but also pocket something at the end of the day. It is a 1 shilling million token, but for those regions where the President has been, testimonies have been shared that indeed life has changed. I'm Robert Onyango for UBC News here in Wakiso District.
Thank you very much, Robert Onyango. Very hardworking gentleman right there. Now, over 150 refugees from Changwali Refugee Settlement Camp in Chikube have got basic skills after a 6-month training organized by the Norwegian Refugee Council to widen their scope of work. The team received startup kits and certifications at Maratu Vocational Training Institute, Changwali, situated in Chikube district.
At least 167 learners completed a 6-month training program
as part of the third cohort of the skilling project, which was launched 3 years ago and funded by the Norwegian Refugee Council. The beneficiaries of the hands-on skilling project are refugee residents at Changwali Refugee Settlement Camp in Chikobe district, who have attained basic skills and knowledge in carpentry and joinery, tailoring, mechanics, construction, among other fields cut of the Norwegian Refugee Council.
Before I joined this program, I was there at home, working for people, going to the garden, digging for the people, going to struggle for the life. And I did that. Then after that, I decided to join this program. I joined it. We did the training, and I think that now we finished it.
The training which I got here has so much helped me. Before, I was working in people's garden to get some money to help the children. I'm a mother of 4.
The project funding that was distributed at 50-50 ratios to the host community and refugees apparently stands at 70% to 30% refugee and host community respectively.
This settlement is mainly refugees from Congo. Congo has been having security challenges for some time, and we've had many of them come, including this year. This year we have received over 4,000 new refugees.
Beneficiaries of the project were also given startup kits to support them change the livelihoods of their households.
There are no saloons, like in my community. Saloon is not there, and that is also what forced me to plan. I'm going to start with the startup kit which have been given from NRC, and from there it will grow up. Starting here after finished course, one year of course. Now I'm finished, I'm happy. Be not easy, but I'm happy because I'm finished. I'm studying mechanic.
Chikobe District Education Officer Deogracious Byakagaba said instilling the skilling culture among members of Changwari Refugee Settlement Camp will supplement government's work.
Employment today is limited. That's why government wants people to gain skills so that they can start their own employment. The white-collar jobs were of those days, but today things have changed. And this is one area NRC has done for us.
The area manager Norwegian Refugee Council Melchizedek Marile says the beneficiaries can utilize their skills when they are out of the camp for the job market.
Refugee policy in Uganda is very progressive. These young people are free to move anywhere in this country and provide services to anybody. Some of them would want to be here, provide the skills and the work that they have learned.
Besides the knowledge and basic skills, Norwegian Refugee Council also supports the refugee population with startup tools to ease work.
If you are in tailoring, then we support you with a tailoring machine and also some materials that help you to start the businesses. We also go further and we give them support with cash.
Mimi ninajaribu kazi mingi hapo. Alikia wakati tunapika, ninafanya vile boda boda.
When he came, he was trying some other small work. Imagine he was a boda rider.
The Norwegian Refugee Council, as an implementing partner operating with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, is committed to supporting refugees.
Otherwise, really, I want to encourage all those who have taken up the skills, the mamas, the papas, the youth, that please go and utilize what has been given to you.
I'm Ivan Joko for UBC.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. *165 *80 hash. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
Uniquely ours. Explore Uganda.
At UNOC, we believe in safety.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. We now take you into the world of business. Flowers and plant lovers under their umbrella body, United Tropical Planters Association, that is UTAPA, have expressed their love for and action for nature, citing their significance. This was at the closure of a 3-day exhibition held at the National Theatre here in Kampala. Let's take a look. And we'll bring that story later on at 10 o'clock. The Deputy Governor, Bank of Uganda, Professor Augustus Nwagaba, says that more investment in the coffee sector will contribute to Uganda's ambitious goal of growing the economy tenfold in the next 15 years, that is to 2040. Uganda's coffee export earnings have for the first time hit $2.1 billion, which can accelerate the country's economic growth. These are the details.
Government is pursuing a tenfold growth strategy for the economy, aiming at realizing a GDP increase from $50 billion to $100 billion by the year 2030. According to the Deputy Governor, Bank of Uganda, Professor Augustus Nwagaba, more investment in the coffee sector can significantly contribute to Uganda's economic growth.
We are now under this financial year $2.1 billion. 2.1 as we speak right now. And this is the first time Uganda as a country has crossed the line for $2 billion since 1894 of Captain Rugard.
The National Coffee Research Institute is promoting coffee farming and value addition, especially in northern Uganda.
We have strong belief
that if we planted coffee in northern part of Uganda, it is not going to, it's not for pride, it's for serving the poor people. When a rich man is drinking coffee, it's a luxury cup, usually a small cup on a white saucer, looking luxurious. But that coffee a rich man is drinking is a poor man's savior. We need to take this savior to northern Uganda together, and it's through this World Coffee Initiative in northern Uganda, supported, that can provide all this. The future is in northern Uganda.
That in the current budget, we have put money, significant amount of money for coffee seedlings, even in northern Uganda, particularly for northern Uganda. So government has put in 60 billion in the current budget is there for uplifting coffee, planting, looking after the coffee in northern Uganda only. Now, in other areas of the country, we are planting coffee everywhere. Everywhere you go to any part of the country.
National Coffee Research Institute, NACORI, will introduce coffee seed systems in northern Uganda.
Introduce the seed system of NARO, that is make sure that farmers have access to quality coffee planting materials. Because seed is critical, Your Excellency will provide a booklet there describing the coffee seed system that we propose to work in the northern Uganda.
Certifications to meet the international standards is also becoming a challenge for young entrepreneurs. Why is it becoming a challenge? It is the costs that is needed to certify our products. For instance, if you want to certify, you need at least to have like around $800 for one product to be certified, plus other costs that comes in.
Adia Nakuti and Regan Ahumza, UBC.
And that brings us to the end of our 8 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. Thank you for being a lovely audience. Do join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark, and from behind the scenes, see you at 10.
Buza Commissioner.
For paying fees. Even by the way, when you're paying fees, you're taxed. When you're paying fees, you're taxed. This is the same business that I get money to send my people in the village. Even that money that I get from this business to send back home is taxed. So can URA do something on the 18%? It is really very high. How about we talk about the multiple taxes on the same income? The same income, actually the same business that I am having, it is being taxed multiple times. So if you're not keen enough, you'll not be able to understand. First of all, when I am traveling, I want to go and buy the goods. Where I am getting the goods, I am being taxed. Even transportation, I am being taxed. And this good arrives, I am supposed now to sell to the consumers. That same money that I get, when I want to reuse it, it is taxed. So it is a little bit hard for business owners when it comes to taxes. Can URA do something about the 18%? Can URA organize a training or a workshop or something to teach the business owners on how they do the taxation? Because most of us are confused when they come to us. When we talk about exports and imports, that is where we face actually a very big challenge. Because now I have customers who come from Congo. I have customers who want me to send for them goods to South Sudan. And also me, there are certain items that I get from DRC. There are certain items that I get from South Sudan. So the taxation is just heavy. And when you look into that, keenly enough, URA should be able to know that this exchange of trade that we're having in between these countries actually also benefits them. It benefits them a lot because Uganda might not be having something and then I cross the border to go and get what Uganda doesn't have. It is actually taxed heavily. I travel to Juba. As I talk now, my tins of milk are at the airfield. They are being captured there. They are telling me, URA is telling me I should pay 300,000 for me to get 6 tins of milk. So what is that? And I am bringing it for home consumption. It is not for sale. So if I bought it there at $100 and now I reach the airport, they are telling me I should pay again 300,000. At what loss is that? So meaning I am getting 6 tins of milk at 660,000. So I'm thinking the tax that URA is levying on this trade that we do at the borders when we interchange with the countries, at least it should not be abnormal. Because there's a tendency of saying these are foreigners. You know, these URA officials, when we reach the border, these are foreigners, they have money, there's a dollar in Congo, there's a dollar in Juba, so there's a way they act. So URA should really look into that and know that whichever trade exchange that we are having also benefits Uganda. So that tax should be looked upon.
Yes, a very valid point, Fiona, because taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagements. So we have been doing engagements, and we promise that in the new financial year we'll take them a scale even higher. We've been having visits to the regions, sensitizing them on tax matters. We normally refer to these as tax barazas, tax clinics, and many other tax engagements. But what we want to do this time is to formally announce, because we noticed that the turn-up has been low. You are in Arua town, you speak to some taxpayers, others do not turn up, maybe because they do not know. So what we are going to do at the beginning of the new financial year is to publish a calendar for our visits of tax clinics or tax barazas per region, per town, for the whole year, so that you know, and we shall remind you through adverts and all sorts of communication, through radios and TVs, that we'll be in this city on this date at this time to address tax issues. And then we can spend a whole day or two speaking about the tax issues that relate to you as an area. Because the challenges of taxation in West Nile region or in Arua town are definitely different from those in Kampala. Here we are in the center of the country, there you are at the border, dealing with all sorts of cross-border businesses and their challenges. So we promise you and all our taxpayers that next financial year we'll have published days for tax engagements. We will remind you, please turn up, listen, ask these questions so that we can be on the same footing. We have seen this effort of engagement pay off. The number of taxpayers who previously were not paying because they didn't know, and it was never their fault. They didn't know it was their responsibility to collect pay as you earn from their workers. They didn't know it was their responsibility to file for income tax. But after some engagements, they've taken the initiative. They are now contributing towards the development of their country, and we want to continue sharing the good news with everybody so that more citizens can participate in the development of their country by paying their fair share of tax. So you have requested and invited people who are willing and who are ready to come. We'll see you very soon. Now, the last part of Fiona's question was VAT 18% is too high for small businesses. Now, my first answer answers your question. VAT, first of all, is not a cost to your business. Please remember how VAT works. When you're buying goods, you pay VAT, what we call VAT input. When you are selling these same goods, you collect VAT from the person who has bought from you. And what do you pay to URA? You get what you have collected minus what you paid, meaning you refund yourself as a business. And the difference is what you give to URA. So VAT, first of all, is not paid by the business. But number two, 18% is not too high. Let's take an example of our East African region. Uganda, the rate is 18% for VAT. Tanzania, the rate is 18% for VAT. Rwanda, the rate is 18% for VAT. Burundi, South Sudan. So, with the exception of Kenya, I think, who went to 16%, the rest of us in the region are at 18%. So it is a comparable rate for the East African region. But also, it is a final consumer tax, not a business direct tax. So I hope that rests your fear, Fiona, on the issue of VAT. And then there was a part which says there is multiple taxation. You even pay taxes on paying school fees. I think on this one, Fiona, there's a misunderstanding, because when you're paying school fees, and I also pay school fees as a parent, the only extra charge we pay are the bank charges. If you're paying through the bank, they will charge you maybe $2,000 for bank charges. But there is no tax levied by URA at the point of paying school fees. And if it's there, please let me know. Of course, the educational institutions may pay some taxes, but that is not for the parents to experience. So there is no multiple taxes, at least for paying fees. And then there is an issue that you raised here, Fiona, where you gave an example. Why does URA tax exports, imports on items from DRC, Congo, and South Sudan? I imported 6 tins of milk from South Sudan for home consumption, and I paid $100. Now URA wants me to pay $300 to clear the taxes on the milk. Is that correct? Now, Fiona, I think again here, there is some missing information. First of all, if you have bought your milk from South Sudan, which is not prohibited, and you're bringing it into the country, if it is for home consumption and it's below the threshold of $2,000, and you're accompanying your goods, you're coming with it, it's not for business purposes, you'll get it in tax-free. But if you're bringing quantities that are for commercial purposes and they're above that threshold, then the applicable taxes apply. For milk, if it is milk made in South Sudan, which I doubt, I don't know if there is any milk coming from South Sudan, because it is part of the EAC, there would be no import duty. But I imagine this is milk that maybe came from Denmark, then to South Sudan, and now you're bringing it into Uganda. There is a tax, an import duty of 60%. Yes, it is high. Why? Because Uganda must protect its local industries. If you've heard of a factory called Lato, they produce Lato milk. That factory is producing one of the best powdered milk for the region. And most of our shelves now in Uganda have Lato powdered milk. So in a very deliberate effort by the government of Uganda to protect its own industries for goods that are manufactured here or goods that are produced here, the tax on importation is slightly high. That's why imported milk from Denmark, from outside the EAC, you have to pay an import duty of 60%. So my advice to you, Fiona, please buy Ugandan-made milk and you will not suffer with any taxes. But if you do, please be ready to pay the relevant tax, because Uganda must protect her own industries and cause her own growth before we support other nations to grow their factories. So these are very important questions, all coming from that video recording by Fiona. I thank you for your questions, and I look forward to further engagement. And as I've promised, we will come to your region and we'll have a longer time to discuss a number of issues that you may have with tax. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Buza Kamiso now. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Buza Kamiso now.
UBC,
inspiring Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Parents and caregivers, remember to immunize your children 9 times from birth to 18 months to protect them against vaccine-preventable diseases such as measles, rubella, polio, pneumonia, hepatitis B, tuberculosis, tetanus, meningitis, yellow fever, diarrhea, whooping cough, diphtheria, and malaria. All vaccines used for immunization are safe, effective, and free. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF, WHO, and partners.
It's a FlexiPay cashback explosion. Shop and pay with your FlexiPay. Cashback instant. It's a FlexiPay cashback explosion.
It's a FlexiPay cashback explosion. Simply shop and pay with your FlexiPay at activating outlets and enjoy instant cashbacks. Terms and conditions apply. Stanbic Bank is regulated by the Bank of Uganda, and customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund up to 10 million Uganda shillings.
Agriculture is Uganda's economic backbone, employing about 70% of the working population and contributing 20% of the GDP. As the world becomes a digital global village, ICT has proven to increase productivity in the agricultural value chain. UKUSAF, through its Strategic Plan 3, recognizes the importance of access and usage of ICT-based tools, information, and knowledge for farmers by providing them the needed skills to live, learn, work, and participate in a digital society.
We came up with a project which we took to UKSAF, and we're happy that UKSAF supported it. That project is called ICT for Farmers. What did we get from ICT for Farmers? We managed to skill up to 100,000 farmers.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Everyone has a life story to tell, but an incredible life story is shared and told differently.
So an incredible life story is not so much what we talk about in as far as grass to grace is concerned. Well, it also wouldn't be a nice or an incredible life story if it was the other way around, of grace to grass. But there could always be something in between, or a little bit even stretchy, from below grass to beyond grace. Tonight on the program, I have an interesting personality who's sharing with us an entrepreneur life story that will possibly blow you away. The sense of discernment, where you're able to see an opportunity where most people wouldn't, or perhaps where others would never, and you pick on that, make it a pet subject, purpose around it, and build something that you see has the greatest potential you can ever imagine. Nalongo, Flavia Babirie.
Yes.
It's interesting, there's the Nalongo bit and then the Babiri, which means you're a twin, but welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Simon. I'm happy to be here.
Aside from that personality nomenclature of yours, Nalongo, Flavia, Babiri.
Yes, please.
You are a twin.
Yes, I am.
And you have a set of twins.
Yes, please.
One or more than one?
I just have one so far.
One
so far, yes.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yes, please.
Welcome to the program. You are an entrepreneur, you are an innovator, you also prefer to describe yourself as a disruptor, but most importantly is you're bringing onto our market something that for the most part we didn't think actually would work as medicinal.
Yes.
That's oil therapy.
Yes.
But first tell us about you and the oil therapy business that you do.
Thank you so much once again. I am Flavia Rita Babia, Nalongo. And
where does it Nalongo comes first, like professor, doctor, or it can also come at the end, like how you say Simon Kasiate, PhD?
I think it can come at the end. It's the latest title that I have. I was Babide before I became Nalongo. Who knew?
So you keep adding them at the back.
Yes, I had it at the back.
Wow.
However, whoever calls me Nalongo first, I still respond. So yes, I'm an entrepreneur, like you said. I'm employed. I have a full-time job. I also run. I have a family, a young family, like you know, because I'm an Nalongo. And then there's too much that is still going on in the background.
When you say you are you employed by something other than your business, or it's your business that's employing you?
I'm employed by something other than my business.
That's interesting. So, well, you'll be telling us more about that.
Yes.
So now your business, oil therapy.
Yes,
So that's why my biggest interest in finding you tell this incredible life story starts from, what's oil therapy?
So oil therapy is a company that I have run for the past 4 years, and we sell therapeutic essential oils. These essential oils carry with them a lot of properties. They're antimicrobial, they're antifungal, they're
Before you confuse me with all those
and all those
beautiful
things.
words, the oils some of us know is cooking oil. What, you know, when you say essential oils, what exactly are we talking about, Flavia?
Essential oils are plant oils. These are natural oils that are extracted, yes, from plants through different methods. I won't go into that. But they're extracted the way you would get maybe the chamomile leaves. Out of the chamomile leaves, when they are put in through a process, they now produce the oil. When you see lavender, the lavender buds, they're squeezed and then oil is produced out of them. So yes, they're just plant oils.
Yeah, but I mean, for a liter of lavender oil, won't I have to clear 7 square miles
Exactly.
of
That
lavender
is,
buds?
Yes, that is the problem, but it is still sustainable in a way. So those are plant oils. They're extracted from flowers, they're extracted from barks of trees, they're extracted from roots, they're extracted from leaves. Some of them are even extracted from the fruits themselves.
Wow.
To make these oils. But these oils have been found to have those good properties that serve the body in different ways. They help with pain, they help with tension in muscles, they help to relieve anxiety, someone who's going through a hard time mentally. They help to calm down a system. And,
so they are not treatment per se, but they are preventative and or just therapeutic, like to give you a good feel.
Yes. They're mostly preventative because even at the time when I started selling these essential oils, I was advised to sell them during the COVID times. People were using these essential oils to, first of all, decongest. So it was just a means of helping people go through COVID and heal from COVID, part of the things they were using. But most importantly, people were being advised to use these oils to build immunity against the COVID
and any other disease that may come before.
Yes.
So you say when we started, maybe you may wish to take us to the start. How? Because you're not a medical doctor, are you?
No, I'm not.
Are you some kind of witch doctor then? No. So, but here you are dealing in, some kind of wellness, a product.
Yes.
When and how did this journey begin?
So this journey began in 2021.
That's COVID.
Yes, during COVID. During that time, I have a friend of mine who was disinfecting Entebbe Grade B Hospital. And he called me along someday and said, you know what, I'm going to Entebbe Hospital to disinfect. Do you mind joining me along? And I told him, no, it's okay, let's go there.
Let's go, yeah.
Yes. So luckily, he had a sticker, I think. And so we used to drive to Entebbe Grade B Hospital. And we'll get there and disinfect the different wards where the COVID patients were.
How courageous were you to go to that hospital, which, if my memory serves correct, was more like an epicenter collection center for especially returnees that were suspected not to be verified?
That's true.
Weren't you putting yourself in harm's way?
Of course, we were putting ourselves in harm's way, but the good thing is that we knew how to protect ourselves. So we had the protective gear, we had the masks, we had everything. So what he did was he got all the gear that we needed to have and had it with him in his car. And whenever we would get to Entebbe Hospital, the nurses would receive us and first dress us up before they would take us into the wards. So then we would go on and disinfect. While we are done with disinfecting, we used to disinfect different wards. And of course, they would refuse us to go to certain wards that were maybe very, especially the ICU unit where they were really, really badly off. But sometimes me and my friend would go there and we actually pray over the patients in there while we were disinfecting.
So you were disinfectors, like
Yes.
normal disinfectants?
Yes, we had
And
normal
sometimes
disinfectants.
you'd go and do some bit of prayer disinfection as well.
Exactly.
That's
We needed to cover the people in prayer as well.
Okay, I love that.
So yes, we'd go in there, disinfect and pray. But after the entire process, the nurses would again come to us. They would take off our protective gear, make sure we disinfect ourselves as well, get us water, get us all the disinfectants that we needed to. And every time we were done with that, they would never, ever forget to tell us, please, when you get home, before you get into your house,
disinfect.
Make sure you also disinfect. Take off all these clothes, leave them outside the house, don't take them into your house. But also, make sure you steam. So because you've been in this kind of environment, you just don't know what you may have picked up,
So
and you may pass it on.
Mask.
Yes, and you may pass it on. So before you interact with your people, take off the clothes and everything, but also make sure you steam as regularly as you can. And that's when I got to know about the oils, because we used to ask them, what do we use to disinfect, or what do we use to steam? Yes, and so they told us about the essential oils. They particularly advised us to use peppermint and eucalyptus.
Wow.
Yes. And as Faith would have it.
We are just boiling the leaves of eucalyptus
Yes.
trees, and all. For you,
Yes.
using the oils from eucalyptus.
Yes, they were advising us to get those oils. As Faith would have it, my friend who had called me to join him for the exercise of disinfecting Entebbe Grade B Hospital happens to be a researcher in plant oil. So when they mentioned them, he already had an idea about them. Yes, so he's the one who told me about, who took me deeper into the research about essential oils, told me about them, and then told me read more about it and see. And eventually, he told me you can do it as a business actually. Because on the side, he was also disinfecting people's homes. Yes, he was going into people's homes and disinfecting them. He was also testing people for COVID and all those things. So he told me, I have a lot of clients who I go to their homes to disinfect, and I tell them what the nurses used to tell us. Steam, 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 and then they ask for these oils.
And they don't know where to find them?
And they don't know where to find them.
Easy to find, yes.
Yes. So that's how he sold the idea to me and told me, please, I think this would be a good thing for you to also do to help so many people out there who are struggling with COVID, looking for a way of healing from it and building their immunity. So you can come on and sell the oils.
And you jumped onto it.
And I jumped right onto it.
But this was COVID, where there is possibly no chance that you're going to get a proper supply.
That's true.
A line. You're not going
Yes.
to get an easy way to penetrate the market and sell. You're
That's
possibly not
true.
going to access packaging. You also are new into this field. I mean, they're just telling you, okay, there's no place you can go and buy a liter of eucalyptus oil and then pack it in small bottles. How dare you think of a business that is possibly capital intensive, that's possibly research incentive like that at a time like COVID?
Well, like I said, I think, like we talked earlier, there's God in all these things. Yes. So I happened to work for government and I had a sticker.
Wow.
So I could move. My colleague as well could move because his car was covered in COVID. It looked like an ambulance of sorts. So his car would move.
Would move even without a sticker.
Yes,
It was
without
just a
the
moving
sticker.
stick on its own, yes.
Yes, it was a moving stick on its own. So those two things helped us. And so I remember when we needed to get packaging, we drove to Matuga, picked the packaging. And then when we needed some things from NASA, the labels and all that kind of thing, still, because I work very close to NASA, so I was able to go to NASA and pick these things. So that helped me to start a business.
But let's get down to really starting this kind of business in the sense of you've been told by your friend and you think it's a good business idea. It has to start from the point of sourcing these materials. How are you going to sell them? Are you going to buy them in bulk from somewhere and then retail and itemize them? Are you going to become a bulk supplier? What came to your mind? Just take us through that entrepreneurial mind. Because that would be very important for us to possibly push the spotlight into how your thinking process does work.
Oh. So, well, the first thing that came to mind was this is an opportunity. Now, first of all, Simon, I remember for a time I had prayed to God and said, God, I want a business to do. I don't know if this is good to say, but I happen to work for government, and sometimes you're not busy.
Forget about that. So, even those who don't work for government and are extremely busy, sometimes the paycheck vis-a-vis the amount of time they put in and the responsibilities we have may sometimes require you to have a side gig, a small business, a small something that you do on top of your
everything
regular.
else.
So I believe that that's a good disposition to have, because do you now know anyone that just does one thing?
No, rarely. It's very hard to find them.
So you don't have to be apologetic.
Yes.
The only part is to say we thought that government was so busy because all of us put our trust in government to Yambe, and you guys are not busy.
I hope my employer doesn't find this.
A government doesn't really penalize you for not being busy. At least you are at work.
Yes, I was at work.
Your colleagues are never at work. Or even when they're there's not much to show why they were there. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day.
That's true. So I felt like I was quite underutilized. Within me, I felt like there was too much that was not being put out. I felt like there was a hole. So before I joined government, I was working in a bank and we were busy.
Yes.
So the switch to government, where I was not busy, felt like there's a bit of me that is not being fulfilled within, and I needed to find something to fill it with.
Wow.
So through that time while I was working still, I kept praying to God, give me a business to do, give me a business to do. But I also particularly told God that I want a business where I can help people get better, feel better about themselves, become confident, and all these kind of things.
So in other words, you're looking at setting up a bar. I mean, when people walk into a bar,
some of us don't feel happy.
Feel happy, get confident, and start giving out jobs and contracts. And before we know it, boom, you are raking in huge amounts of money.
Yeah.
But Flav, sorry for the interruption, but time is always not an ally on our side now. Just take a short break. But when we return, it's now the prayer process, the incubation of the idea,
business.
and then for you to maybe also reconcile the fact that what you are seeing manifesting before you is in fact an answer to your prayer.
To my prayer. Yes, that's very true.
It's Incredible Life Stories with Simon Kasiate. We'll be right back. Flavia sharing her entrepreneurial story, a story of disruption, a story of being a go-getter, but on the bedrock of all this, a story of immense faith in God and also the disposition to do a business that sets her apart as an enabler for good living, well-being, and making people feel better about themselves. She'll be elucidating what better about yourself really means. We'll be right back.
Everyone has a life story to tell. But an incredible life story is shared and told differently.
Incredible Life Stories with Simon Kasiate. Now, to be regarded as an entrepreneur, you don't have to be on the Forbes 500 list for Africa, East Africa, or even just Uganda for that matter. No. You may not even appear anywhere on the Forbes list 500. You could be below that. But the fact that you're able to be transformational in picking up a business idea from places that no one would, and then nurture it into something that's on its feet running. And like they say, Ugandan businesses hardly make it their fifth birthday. This one we're discussing is almost there. And Flavia, we want to say, looks like you still have another maybe, 50 years to go?
Yes, I do.
I love the confidence.
I do, definitely. My children will take it on even.
They had better.
They will.
They should know where the money that buys them from Celirac to
all the things, yes.
So Flav, you pray to God, and now you begin to see a revelation in a business at a time when the world is in a lot of uncertainty.
Yes.
So take us through the incubation of this now fully.
So when that idea came on board, I happened to do my research. And like I said, he's now my business partner in this business. He had done research as well in plant oils. And he had also started a cosmetic business before. So he had some knowledge.
So he did have it, but he may not have had the business acumen or the ability to take risks like you.
Exactly.
I think sometimes ignorance is bliss. A child who's never drowned would easily walk into a swimming pool and they could gamble and get across.
Yes, that's true.
You was drowned before.
You will fear to get in there.
A shower.
Exactly.
Coming down.
Exactly. So he had contacts already. He had contacts for where to get the packaging from. Wow. He had contacts for where to get the oils from. He knew some people were already selling essential oils, so he introduced me to them and told me, Flavia, this is where you'll get the oils in bulk. We actually sat down with one of the suppliers, and he gave us a price list based on that relationship that he had with my business partner. So he took me around and took me to some gentlemen as well who trained me on how to mix the oils and how to...
Oh, wait a minute. So you wanted to be the all-stop center for your business, that you'll be the mixologist, you'll be the packaging expert, you'll be the marketing expert.
You know, when you're starting, that is how you start. You are everything.
Everything. Wow.
Then with time, you let it out. So anyway, my colleague took me, and these people took me through certain things. This is how you mix, this is where you get the oils in bulk, this is where we get packaging from. He took me all through that process. The only thing I remember doing for myself that I didn't have, or he didn't really, he told me handle that, was the NASA guy. So I happened to have a NASA person who was helping me print some things. Okay. So it was easy to connect. So day one...
Possibly could be the guy that printed your wedding cards or something.
No.
Then you
oh yes,
back.
he's the one. He's the one. Exactly. He's the one. So we get from training, day one. Actually, we started this business in about 3 days.
Wow.
Simon, we started this business in about 3 days. He told me, Flavia, no, we're going to start. There's nothing you're going to wait for. Let's move. So day one, I remember he took me to the gentleman who trained me to mix the oils, and also told me there are some oils you can pick from him. Day one. Day two, he introduced me to the second supplier of essential oils. Told me, let's meet this guy. He's always there on a Tuesday. We went in on a Tuesday, met him, and he told me, this is where you will start getting your oils from at this price. We had an MOU of sorts. Day three is like we're driving to Matuga.
Pick packaging.
To pick packaging.
So you have to choose which one you have.
So you have to, yes. So we drove to Matuga, and we came back with our 1,000 bottles. Wow. Packaging. We drove back. As we were driving back, he tells me, call your NASA guy.
Put labels. To
get labels. So as we're driving back to town, I remember we picked one bottle, and I ran to NASA, dropped it at his place, at the NASA guy's place, left him with a bottle, and then we drove home, dropped me home. So that was just in 3 days. The fourth day, I think, was when, now we had bought oil.
Fourth day you were mixing?
Yes, fourth day I was mixing.
Fifth day you were packaging and labeling?
Mixing and packaging one day. So the fourth day was mixing and packaging. I remember it was a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. He told me, when you're done with church, please make sure you create time and mix those things and put them out. So I remember I started on 1st February.
Wow.
So between 26th, because I remember he called me on 26th and said, Father, there's a business idea I have. Come to town, find me, and we talk about it. So 26th to
First.
To first. First I was out. 1st February 2021.
Do you remember your first client?
Do I remember my first client?
Or you were your own guinea pig?
I must have been. My children must have been my guinea pigs.
Yes. Wow.
Yes, so in about a space of 4 days, 5 days, the business was out.
Was up and running.
Actually, yes, 26th to 1st February 2021, the business was up.
Is there something about you, Flavia, that you make quick decisions on sometimes life-changing engagements? Like, would you pick up a lifelong partner just like that from him? Would you make a decision on what course to study that would impact your life forever in a short time because you're convinced? Are you the impulsive person that just picks up whatever comes their way? Or can we say that this came at a time when you had been through a long journey of deep thought and you were like, maybe this is it?
Yes, I think so. I'm not a person who quickly picks up on things. I'm not impulsive. I take time to think through things. But this friend of mine and colleague, and there's something about him that when he told me to do certain things, I would pick them up quickly.
Because of a certain long-standing trust that you've
picked up with him. But also, maybe what I didn't mention were prayer partners at the time. So there's a lot of things that I had picked up from him and they had actually succeeded. But also it came at a time when I had asked God, please give me a business idea.
You haven't mentioned about some revelations that you may have had between the two of you.
Exactly.
This is what we saw.
Yes. Those were in there as well. But when he mentioned it, I quickly picked it up because I felt like it was not him, it was the Holy Spirit speaking.
let's get down to the cost of doing business.
Yes.
Because many of them, that's where the rubber hits the road, and incredible ideas such as yours are never scaled up because you couldn't even have enough money. You're a poor government worker at that time. I don't know where you get your capital from. So how were you able, one, to get the quantities that were required around that time, and then your ability to penetrate the market? And I don't want to know, I really hope that this will not lead you into trouble with the tax person, because if you've been operating under the radar, URA now has you in full glare on Incredible Life Story. So all those things, putting them together, how did you be, you now sold, right? Now formalizing and scaling.
Formalizing and scaling. So when I was starting out this business, and I remember I came on board saying that I don't see this product on the market. The person I was buying, one of my suppliers who was doing this product, was rather targeting a market that I didn't want to target.
Which is?
Which is the lower market. And then me, I wanted to target the high-end market because, first of all, I work in a corporate space. I knew that those would be my first clients.
Yes.
But also, I have an eye that is not the kind of eye that everyone has. I try to do things a bit differently, or very, very differently. I always want to veer off and see what are the possibilities of doing this thing this way and actually works.
So you want your oil therapy products to be vended in briefcases at the old taxi park or in bus parks where there are all these guys who keep vending. You don't use this to do. You want it to be found on shelves of top town pharmacies.
Exactly.
And at worst supermarkets.
Yes. That is. So when I started out like that, I knew that I wanted to build a premium brand, and so I set myself as that from the beginning. I remember my colleague telling me, you know what, this packaging is really nice, first use this. And I told him, no, I don't feel this packaging.
I need better.
I need better. And I remember in 2 weeks, I ordered for packaging, not even 2 weeks, I ordered for packaging from Kenya. So we had plastic bottles, I moved quickly to a glass bottle. And also the sales moved quickly. You know, that is the difference that it made for me. So when I started out having that idea, that prior knowledge that this is the kind of brand I want to build, these are the kind of people I want to target, this is how I want my product to be perceived amongst people. That pushed me a different one. I always said, I don't want to be like the rest of the people in the market. I want to do differently. Starting out was not really expensive, thankfully, because he had also gone through this kind of business. I'd had a cosmetics company. He tried to show me where to start from that wouldn't drain my pockets. I remember our budget for starters was just about 600,000 shillings. Yes.
Ugandan shillings?
Ugandan shillings.
Less than $1 million?
Less than $1 million.
And here we're talking about maybe double or even now triple digit million worth of account.
So he said, just start small, start with just a few oils. I remember we started with just about 3 oils, peppermint, eucalyptus, and lavender.
Wow.
Yes, we started with those 3. He said, just take these 3, then get packaging. I remember because the packaging company in Matuga sells their products really cheaply. It was very easy. So by the time I remember counting that entire cost, it was about 630,000 shillings.
So one would imagine your initial packaging, you couldn't differentiate whether it is chili sauce or essential oil or lipstick.
Yes, so
then regularizing the business, to have it registered, to have it formalized and all that, because right now you are a legal entity that can be sued, can sue, but also is liable for taxes and other liabilities, or should we say responsibilities like the NSF for your staff and the rest.
Yes, that's true.
Rolling that through.
So, you know, our businesses are much alike like the owners. So as Flavia, I like to do things the straight way. So that didn't come as a hard thing for me to do. When I told my colleague that now I want to register the business, it's like, it's okay. If you feel like you're ready, please go ahead. So I remember I started in February. By about, I think, May, we had already booked a name at URSB. And then I got some challenges in there, so I registered the company in August. Those were personal challenges, not business challenges.
In other words, what you're trying to tell me is that nothing really goes in a straight line. There will be some challenges.
There will be some challenges, definitely.
Personal, business-wise, whatever it is, you face them, they could derail you.
Yes.
You see, why we're having this conversation, Flav, is not so much about your own incredible life story, but in you, we're seeing an embodiment of a young Ugandan entrepreneur Entrepreneurship is not one of those places that many young people want to venture in. They want the assurance of a